I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
My mom and dad are gonna be...
I see dead people.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Killer Cuties podcast.
That's us.
It is us.
Happy June.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, it's your birthday.
Oh, if you're listening to this, yes, it is my birthday. Today we're recording. It's not my birthday, so you don't have to, But yes, if you're listening to this, tell me happy birthday.
Yeah. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, please.
We're here to talk about It Follows.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll hit you with some news first.
Sex.
I have two little ones. I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman have partnered on several movie scores from Spider-Man 1 and 2, Doctor Strange, Army of Darkness. They've reunited for the upcoming survival thriller horror movie called Send Help. It's scheduled to hit theaters in January of 2026, so about 6 or 7 months from now. It's about two colleagues who become stranded on a deserted island after surviving a plane crash. It doesn't to me sound like a Danny Elfman score. Usually his scores are a little bit more like fantasy and whimsical.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be a fantastical, whimsical island.
Yeah, maybe. Or a fantastical, whimsical plane crash.
Or both.
Yeah. Who's to say? But they're partnering again. We get that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. I'll watch it. Twist my arm.
Yeah, I like him. Danny Elfman. Sam Raimi's fine. Also, they're both good. Yep.
Great. The Katie seal of approval. All right, my first news. For people like Katie, who are huge fans of the Terrifier franchise, I have some news.
I read this. I purposely didn't mention it because I didn't want to.
Yeah, I figured. Damien Leone has recently promised that in the upcoming Terrifier 4, we're finally going to get Art's origin story. There's been 3 movies. We really don't know much about him. He also then recently doubled down on that. He said that the backstory is going to be within the first 15 minutes of the film. So you're getting it right away.
Wow.
Yeah, he said it's going to be epic and it's not going to disappoint fans. He also said that the script's coming along very nicely and that it's going to be a satisfying conclusion to the franchise.
So it's over. Yay!
Well, if I had a nickel for every time a franchise said this is the last one and then it wasn't the last one, I would be very rich. So I think if it does well financially, which I'm assuming it will, I can't imagine there won't be more Terrifier films in the future. But
it's so annoying.
Yeah. So goes life.
Yay, fans. So happy for you guys.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Well, maybe the star of Terrifier 4 will be John Cena because he made an appearance at a fan expo in Philadelphia where he participated in a fan Q&A. One fan asked him if he was ever in a horror film, would he want to be the villain or the person being killed? And he just said, yes, he would love to be in a horror movie and he doesn't care what part he plays.
Wow.
Yeah, he says he's ready. And to call him.
Horror people, you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
What a terrifying villain. One they can't see. Invisible Man remake coming up soon.
Yeah.
Starring John Cena.
The Invisible Man can see.
Well, yeah, but we can't see him. That's his whole thing. We can't see John Cena. So he's the Invisible Man.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Is that a joke?
Yeah. John Cena's whole thing is, you can't see me.
That's dumb. Why?
I don't know.
Did you know that he is the record holder for most Make-A-Wishes fulfilled?
That's actually really sweet.
Yeah, I think he's done more than literally Disneyland. Which
Good
is
for
crazy.
Him.
And if
Anyways, I'm glad
if
I could
it's
teach
not,
you
yeah.
some John Cena lore.
Yeah. His
I can't
heel
believe you
origin
haven't.
story or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know wrestling.
Yeah, I don't really either, but I know that he does the "you can't see me" thing, and then it's a whole joke where fans will take pictures with him, and people will be like, "Why did you take a picture standing in front of nothing?" You know,
Yeah,
because you
that's
can't
funny.
see him.
Cute.
It is funny, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's
that you
funny.
get the joke now.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah,
Wow, that would have been real funny if I had gotten it. The
yeah. Like
Invisible Man joke.
if I made that joke right now, it would kill.
Yeah.
Let's just get that straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, last news from me. The Purge creator and director James DeMonico, he has a new movie coming out. It's coming out this
Oh.
summer, and
Oh.
it's going to star none other than SNL alum Pete Davidson.
Hell yeah, brother.
Pete Davidson in a horror movie coming soon.
He's in one of my favorite horror movies.
Oh, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie is
This
that?
one does not seem like it's going to be a comedy. It's called
Really?
The Home. Yeah, it seems very straightforward horror.
Okay.
Called The Home, coming to theaters July 25th of this year.
You're already scared.
Summer flick. Oh, people are shaking in their boots. Let me tell you what.
It's called The Home. That's like your least favorite place for a horror movie to take place.
It's not that type of home, though. I'll tell
Oh.
you. Yeah. So they released the trailer.
Oh.
First trailer out. We'll link it in the description. The plot overview is a rebellious 20-something is sentenced to community service at a quiet retirement home.
Oh.
Yes.
Like we're sending Grandpa to the home.
Exactly, yeah. The residents on the 4th floor are strictly off limits, said to require special care. As his suspicions grow and he digs deeper, he uncovers a chilling secret that puts both the residents' lives and his own in grave danger.
That has to be funny.
I watched the trailer. It does not read comedy at all. Not even a little bit.
Did the trailer look good?
No. But who knows? Maybe it'll surprise me. I don't know.
The Purge is good.
I liked The Purge.
I like most of them. All of them. I liked them all.
Oh, great.
They're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this didn't look like it was for me, but maybe it looks like it's for you. You'll have to watch it yourself and find out.
Me personally? No.
No, just the
audience.
generalized you. Yeah, anybody who's listening, don't take my opinion from it. Some movies are really good and they don't have the best trailers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comments on it seemed like people were excited for it, so who am I to say?
Well, go see it or don't.
Yeah, maybe watch the trailer and see if it sparks joy.
Yeah. Start there.
Yeah.
And then in a few months when it comes out, or in a month, when does it come out? This summer.
July 25th.
2 months. Now we're going to talk about It Follows.
We are.
I'll give you some facts, some statistics.
Hit me.
It Follows is a 2014 psychological horror about a teenager, played by Micah Monroe, who sleeps with her new boyfriend and subsequently receives a fatal curse that is passed from victim to victim by sexual intercourse. It was written and directed by David Robert Mitchell, had a $1.3 million budget, and recouped $23.3 million at the box office. It has a 3.4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, and a pretty large spread of 95% from critics and 66% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, so we're going to talk about it.
We are, yeah.
Where should we start? I have lots of thoughts.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start by first saying that Micah Monroe in this movie looks like Brittany Murphy from Uptown Girls. Do you know what I'm saying?
Not really. They're both blonde. Is that
not enough?
Not typically.
Hold on, let just give me a second. There's a similarity.
Okay.
She also, you know who else she kind of looks like? One of the girls in Allie and AJ. One of the two of them.
Either Allie or AJ.
Wait, let me look.
That I see more than the Brittany Murphy. I'm not seeing the Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, I think, yes. I'm getting closer. I'm articulating. Who the fuck is who? How do you know which one's which? They're in different orders on every picture.
I know which one's which. Allie was on Phil of the Future.
Yes.
AJ was not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she looks more like Allie.
Yes. So
Yes.
Micah Monroe looks like Allie from Allie and AJ, and a little bit Brittany Murphy from Uptown Girls.
See, I almost feel like she looks more like Allie and AJ combined than Brittany Murphy. I'm not getting the Brittany Murphy. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Okay, I kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great, we got there.
Yeah, we
That's all that
figured it
matters.
out. Yeah.
So that's what you felt so strongly about that you had to say?
Oh, I just was trying to find a way to kick us off, and that's...
Oh, great,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
I said last episode that I almost wish I had showed you this movie sooner. Do you know now which movie I wanted to show you this before?
Smile?
Yeah.
It was either Smile or Halloween.
Yeah. No, I would not show you the copy after the blueprint.
Yeah.
That wouldn't
fair.
make sense.
Fair.
You got to watch Halloween before you watch the movies that were inspired
Yeah.
by it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, during our episode on Smile, I was like, no, there's another movie that like did this concept kind of already. And that was It Follows.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely different, but the first time I saw
Yeah.
Smile, I was like, oh, this is just jump scare It Follows.
What does that make It Follows?
Indie Smile.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think Smile was also kind of indie, wasn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Smile 2 is definitely a lot more
Yeah.
commercialized.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the like plot points?
Sure.
The plot holes. The plot holes. There wasn't a plot, but the plot holes.
Well, there was a plot, but
well, not really. They
okay.
They
if
get
Halloween
disease
have a
and then they have to
plot.
get rid of it. Halloween doesn't have a plot. We've had this conversation.
But you can't say it doesn't have a plot and say the plot. That's, you know.
Okay, well, it has a very minimal plot then.
Sure.
But the plot holes specifically is what I'm... In the first 10 minutes of the film, a universe is established that is then immediately destroyed. The whole concept. Like, oh, it's going to keep walking straight towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll kill you if it catches you.
Yep.
And neither of those things happen.
What do you mean?
Well, so it stops a lot. Very frequently it stops.
It does occasionally stop.
Yes. And also, when it gets to you, it can pull your hair. It can, throw things. It can pick things up and throw them at you. It can stop at the side of the pool and pick up something and throw it at you.
Yeah, well, because I think he does kind of establish when he's walking her through it that it's not stupid. So, although it does walk towards you, I think the pool scene is the movie showing that it is capable of thought. It's not stupid. It's not just going to walk right in. It's assessing what's going on and then fighting back because it's not dumb. But yeah, it touching her hair was definitely just for the cinema of it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I feel like in some ways I'm a little bit more willing to forgive it for those moments because the inspiration for it was this nightmare that the director had.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted the whole movie to feel like that. And sometimes nightmares don't really make sense. That doesn't always follow the premise that it's set forth. So I feel like it was successful in fulfilling what it set out to be.
That also feels like an excuse. Like, oh, you didn't get it? Well, it's because it's based on a nightmare. Nightmares don't always make sense.
That's
it had
fair.
plot holes? Well, I had a nightmare, and those plot holes were part of it, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I think in a movie that's not really based in reality, I'm more willing to forgive those things.
Sure.
Than I would be if it was supposed to be like a really grounded, realistic story.
Not many horror movies are.
No, but I think, when it comes to like a slasher where it's a real person killing people,
sure,
I'm going to be more critical.
Yeah.
Because it's not in that, right, it's not in that supernatural fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's this entity that follows you, I'm not really going to be as critical of that kind of stuff. But if you are, fair. Who am I to judge?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the attention to detail for the like dream concept was actually pretty good. I mean, they like clearly did put some thought into that. They did not maintain a lot of consistency with like the eras of cars or the like weathering of clothing. Like in some scenes they're wearing jackets, in some scenes it's like pitch black dark outside and they're wearing basically no clothes and
Yeah,
that
and the
sort of
time frames.
inconsistency. Yeah.
You mentioned like a lot of the decor is
Mm-hmm.
very old fashioned. The cars are never set to one decade.
Yep.
The TV is very old, but then she's got this clamshell device that's an e-reader that like
Yeah.
seems very futuristic. So it's you can't really pinpoint it to one time.
Yeah. Also the mother never really has a clear shot of her face. Like you never see Jane Kelly's mom in a clear shot. Her hair's always covering her face. That felt very like dreamy to me. Like a lot of times you
100%.
can't formulate a. You're not just going to come up with it. I think that's a thing. I think that's actually a thing where you can't create faces you haven't seen in dreams.
Yeah, I've heard that.
think
I'll be
that's a
honest
thing.
and say I've never fact checked it, but it makes sense, I guess,
Yeah.
that you're just pulling from things that you've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, to your point, that is very dreamlike. Of like you never see someone's face, but you know who it is. You
Yeah,
know it's their
exactly.
mom, or in your dream, you know it's your mom, but you never see her.
Yeah.
Very, very much a dreamlike type of situation.
Yeah. We keep calling it the entity, but a lot of people call it it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, why are we allowed to do that?
Because it's called It Follows.
Yeah, but doesn't Stephen King have anything to say about that?
No, because he can't copyright it. That's a word.
As the name of an entity, he absolutely could.
So it is not Pennywise's name. Pennywise
I know,
is
but
its name. So
right. But there's
it's not
still
its
the name of the
name.
book.
Well, yeah. They can't. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure you can write a book with the same name as another book. So
As long as it's not easily mistaken.
yeah, you couldn't write a book called It about a clown and design it the same way that Stephen King designed it.
Yeah. There were a lot of similarities between, people pointed out several similarities between it and It Follows, in that there's this shape-shifting entity following children around a town.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of reaching just
It's kind
because
of a
it
reach.
has it in the name, but
Yeah.
sure.
I tried to find Stephen King's thoughts on this movie. It's absolutely fucking impossible.
Yeah, you
'Cause it's
can't
just so
search
buried.
Stephen King It and get anything other than.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, Micah Monroe did a film with Bill Skarsgård. So,
Oh, fun.
yeah, they did a little horror comedy called Villains.
Cute. I just found out this week, I think I messaged you about it, that Bill Skarsgård is reprising his role as Penny
Yeah.
in the Dairy show.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Welcome
realize
to Derry. I feel like we talked about
that.
it.
I'm
but
sure we have, but
it sounds like something we would have talked about.
yeah. I forgot. I still
Yeah.
haven't seen either It or It Chapter 2, so
Well, you made me take it off the list.
why?
Well, I said I need to remove it because we did Clown in a Cornfield. And I was like, we can't have two clowns in a row. And then you said, just get rid of it altogether. I've already seen the original. And I said, oh, but I thought you wanted to watch the remake. And you said, no, it's fine. Let's watch new stuff.
I do still want to watch it,
I mean, we can.
but we
I'm
have
just
so much other
clarifying
content.
that you asked me to remove it.
Yeah.
To be clear.
And we've done 3 clown movies. 3 clown franchises. You know? That seems like a
Yeah.
lot.
We've done more than
Like
3 vampires. There's
proportionally.
zombies.
Yeah, proportionally,
You feel like it's been too many?
it's just like
Well,
how
clowns are
many,
kind of big in horror. So
how many clown movies are there
a lot.
compared to ghost movies?
Well, no, there's an insane amount of ghost movies.
That's what I'm saying.
But compared to like vampire movies, probably similar.
How many vampire movies have we done? Just the 2.
Let me count. 3 as well.
Okay.
So there you go.
I'm not even afraid of clowns. I just think it's a dumb
true.
trope.
That's fair.
Why can't we just let clowns be fun and have fun?
Yeah.
There's a negative stigma.
Well, let's get back to this movie that talks
Yep.
about the one thing with no stigma behind it: sex.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward allegory for STDs. Very straightforward.
Sure.
No, there's no tiptoeing around it.
I agree. However, personally, at its base, I think that this movie is more about informed consent and sexual assault.
Okay. I don't think a man had those intentions creating this movie.
I don't think his intentions went past
It was
I
a
had
nightmare
this
I had.
dream. Yeah, I had this dream where something followed me. What's a way that people could transfer it? Sex. That's what I think he was thinking when he made it.
Yeah.
However, when I watch it, that's what I think of.
Sure.
Because there's that whole scene where she's talking to the police and he asked her if it was consensual and she's crying and saying yes.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that she wouldn't have said yes had she known. And
Right.
that's why informed consent is so important, and that's why it is sexual assault if you do not have fully informed consent.
Right.
So that's what I kind of see it as. I know some people have watched it and taken it as more of like a slut shaming type of thing, where it's like, cue the gym teacher from Mean Girls, if you have sex you will get pregnant and die. Like, that's which I see that too. Like, I see why people would watch it and think that. But for me, her friends never shame her for hooking up with this guy. There's more of this stigma of her not being believed about what happened and what's happening to her. And there's that kind of like public shame that's being put on her about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why my mind goes more towards sexual assault.
Sure. And I think
But I guess I get both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable takeaway for any woman to have.
Yeah. But one thing I do love about this movie, when it comes to supernatural movies and something's happening to someone that no one else can see, that trope is used a lot. And I think the go-to is just nobody believes them.
Yeah.
And what I love that this movie does is that her friends don't really believe her, but they still are with her and support her every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think that's more realistic of what would actually happen. Like, if my friend came to me and was like, something's chasing me that only I can see, I don't really think I believe them, but I believe that they believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's more important. Like, I'm still going to help them, even if I maybe don't fully believe that what they think is happening is real.
Good to know. Good to know next time I'm in psychosis.
I will get you the help that you need.
Thank you. So you think this movie has redeeming qualities?
You don't?
I didn't say that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were very blasé about it last week. You were like, oh, we're going to find out if I like this movie like everybody else does or if I don't.
Oh, yeah, I got to keep you on your toes.
Sure.
I can't just pick a movie and then have you be like, oh, she likes it, and go into it thinking that I like it, because then that might influence you a little bit.
Sure.
And I want you to go in uninfluenced.
Yeah. Which way would that influence me, perhaps? Would I like it more because you like it, or would I like it less to spite you?
I think you would like it more, because I think that you're a good friend, and I think that you have at least some level of respect for my opinions.
Okay.
That you would carry into it with you. You'd be like, I want to see what she sees. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes until no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We haven't found that yet, but yes until no.
Yeah, I don't think we found a movie that I love that The Menu was the closest we got. Where you really did not see any redeeming qualities. But you've since rewatched it.
And to your own point, I rewatched it because you're like, yeah, no, we watch it.
And you realized I was right.
And you were right.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, that movie's fine. Good.
Thank you. I will be right, even if it takes me years.
And it did. It took you 2 years.
It did, yeah. But that was the time that you needed to see it with fresh
Yeah.
eyes.
I was new to horror. Very new.
Very new. That was really early on.
I still had to hold Dylan's hand while I watched the movies.
That's cute, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think just, I think if you don't think about this movie, it's fine. But the more you think about it, it's not fine.
Okay. The plot holes are they're bothering you a lot, huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what I don't understand about, I forgot a syllable. That's what I don't
That's okay.
understand about the audience versus critics
Okay.
rating is that critics are supposed to think about movies. That's
Mhm.
literally their fucking job.
Yeah.
And they gave this a 95 and the audiences only gave it a 66. And their audiences aren't supposed to think about movies. They're just supposed to go and have a fun time. Good fun time. Happy fun time,
Yeah.
So that was weird for me. I don't know that I'm right. But for me, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why?
I can't speak for other critics. I can only speak for myself.
Yeah. And I feel like we do a good job of like towing the line between critic and audience. We try not to be too presumptuous, pretentious.
Yeah. But I think that that's how it's always going to be. There's going to be movies where I agree with the critics and I'm a little bit more pompous about it. And there's going to be movies where I'm agreeing more with the audience.
Yeah.
I think for this one, for me, I mean, not to give too much away, but I think when I look at all the other good things that the movie does, I'm a little bit more forgiving.
Sure.
Also, I think it was years ago, but Quentin Tarantino did an interview where he talked about this movie.
Why?
And he was mad about the like plot holes in it. And I think that made me not care about them even more because I don't like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I'm not
So
his biggest fan.
When he pointed it out, I was like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about plot holes.
Yeah.
Out of spite, I don't care about them anymore.
I just don't. I don't even know that I would call them plot holes. Even it's just inconsistencies, like continuity.
Yeah,
Like
he calls it. He said something about it not committing to the premise that it sets forth,
which is that's my exact complaint is that the premise of something that will not stop just walking towards you. That's freaky.
Yeah.
And they've had 11. I'm going to try to weave in fun facts because all we've talked about is our own shit. But they had 11 different actors portraying the entity.
Mm-hmm.
All did a really good job at making it spooky, especially the tall one. The tall.
Yeah.
So that was so like right when it comes up behind Yara, right? Yara.
Mm-hmm.
Really freaked me out.
Yeah.
Had they stuck with that bit where, at the beginning when Hugh is explaining like all of the rules or whatever, and he's like, don't ever go anywhere with just one exit.
Mm-hmm.
Had they used that? They didn't even use that. Why wouldn't you have a shot of somebody going down an alleyway that ends up being a dead end and you just have to sit there and wait for them to die while this thing comes slowly bumbling toward them? You know what I mean? I was looking so forward to that scene specifically. I just felt like it could have been so much scarier. We're giving away a lot of our ratings already. Sorry,
okay.
We haven't even talked about fun facts. But they would have been so much scarier had they really leaned into this like world. Yeah, so I hate to say I agree with Quentin Tarantino, but that's exactly my complaint about it. Was that like it was so cool. The first 10 minutes of this movie was fucking slapped.
Yeah.
And I liked that you didn't see what happened to this girl. You just, you know what I mean? She just is
like
there
it just
and
cuts to day and
she's mutilated, absolutely fucking destroyed. And that mystery of that, like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you don't want that to get anywhere near you. And then all it does is pull your ponytail. Like,
I mean, I think had her friends not stepped in, more would have happened to her, obviously, as we saw with Greg. But
yeah.
Well, I think the problem, too, though, with, like, no one's going to go down an alleyway is that it's following Jay for the majority of this movie.
Yeah.
So they're not going to kill her off.
Sure. But, I mean, she did give it to Greg. And Greg died immediately. The second the mom was in the bedroom, he was dead. And she was just incest stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that was necessary. It was creepy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I hate myself for agreeing with him.
Yeah. It's not the best look I've ever seen you in, but that's okay.
Sorry. I would have changed my opinion had I known that sooner, but I already wrote out all my thoughts. I'm just
Oh, yeah.
regurgitating them to you.
Hey, that's what this is for.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get more into fun facts.
Yeah.
Mike Lanier, he's the one that plays the very, very tall entity. He's 7'7", and he is a Detroit resident. They filmed almost this entire movie in Michigan because of the tax breaks. But he's just a resident there who designs engines for General Motors, and he's one half of the world's tallest twins.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought General Motors went bankrupt.
Well, this came out in 2014, so.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, he was by far the best of. He was my favorite of them. He creeped me out the most. Him and
Yeah.
the kid that comes through the door.
Oh, when they're in the shed thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that freaked me out too.
Yeah. The tall guy coming behind her in the hallway is probably one of the most iconic scenes from this entire movie. People talk about it a lot.
Yeah, that one really got me.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. This movie's nothing if not scary. It was pretty scary. I'm just gonna give you all my ratings right now. Fuck the fun facts. But no, I mean, people do. There was an overwhelmingly positive first weekend for this movie, and they were gonna originally release it in VOD and theatrical release, but they canceled the VOD and had a theater only, and it really paid off. Like what they made, like, what did we say, like 23 times their budget, or more like 20 times their budget.
Yeah.
And Rotten Tomatoes ranked it as the 6th most praised film of 2015, because technically it's a 2014 movie because it screened at festivals, and then it was released theatrically in 2015. To clarify.
Very true, very true. I think it originally premiered at Cannes.
We talked a little bit about the inspiration behind the film.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween was obviously one of them. J is short for Jamie, which is obviously a tribute to Jamie Lee Curtis, who has a sister named Kelly Curtis. And in It Follows, Jamie's sister's name is Kelly.
Yep.
That's cute.
Yes. Also, the girl in the opening scene is named Annie, which is one of Laurie's friends in Halloween. Her name's Annie.
Cute.
So, little nods to John Carpenter's Halloween, which makes sense. I think that was like one of the first, villains walking, persons running, and they always catch up.
Yeah, somehow.
That type of villain trope, which I think I could see you having a nightmare about that after watching a movie like Halloween.
Sure.
Or he also, I think, George A. Romero was also another one, which makes sense. Zombies walk slowly, but they'll get to you eventually. So
Mm-hmm. Zombies have evolved, though. They be running in modern, contemporary horror.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But then again, goes back to the age-old zombie versus infection.
Infection, yeah. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah. It's a very touchy subject.
Yeah. How many tropes can we talk about that aren't actually in this movie?
Running and walking is in this movie.
I guess that's true. But zombies, clowns.
True. Vampires. It's all related somehow.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The entity will manifest itself sometimes as people that the characters know. So the first time Jay sees it, it's as this woman who's walking towards her. We find out later that that's actually Hugh, her date, or Jeff, as we find out his name actually is. It's his mom. So we find that out when she goes to his house. So that's why it was manifesting as her, because he could still see it too, because it's still kind of, I think there's like a gray zone where it'll still show up to the person who previously had it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the beginning, when she's looking in the mirror, Jay has 2 photos on her mirror, and one of them is with her father. And when they're at the swimming pool, that's who the entity looks like, is her dad. And so when Kelly asks her what it looks like, she says, I don't want to tell you. And that's why, because it's taking the form of their deceased father.
Sad.
Yeah. It'll get you. Mentally or physically.
We can talk about the score.
Go for it.
The entire score, which is written by Disasterpiece, was completed in less than 3 weeks.
Damn.
Which shows.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I think it worked.
Yeah, I liked it for the movie.
Yeah. I don't know that I like it as a standalone. Like, I would never listen to it. I don't think it was anything
fair.
groundbreaking or interesting. But it worked for the film.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pop it on.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not you. I don't just listen to scores, so.
Sure.
I wouldn't do that to a normal film, but.
Yeah. Which is a real shame. You're really missing out.
I listen to soundtracks sometimes.
Close.
Thank you. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I've had the Sinners one on repeat since I saw it. You won't go see it for some reason, so.
I will eventually. When have I had time?
I don't know your life.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Very
Anyway.
true. I do know your life, but I need you to find some time.
Yeah. Okay.
I need you to.
Okay. Anyway, the other thing about Disasterpiece, who I had actually not heard of.
Me neither.
I didn't. Yeah. They are also they play the announcer in the high school. Fun little cameo. Danny Elfman did cameos for Sam Raimi too. Tie that back to the news I gave you.
Wow, full circle.
Yeah, I forget what movie. But yeah, he has done cameos.
The director, David Robert Mitchell, he's clarified a couple of things that people have asked questions about regarding how the entity works. One, he said that it could board a plane and follow you if that was your way out.
Okay.
So,
good to know.
For everybody who said, I'm just flying to a different country, it'll get there eventually. It'll just take a while.
Yeah.
He also stated that condoms wouldn't work, condom resistant, and also same gender sex. So the entity's not a homophobe.
So, okay, so good for him. Good for
Great.
it.
Yeah.
But what? So what you're telling me is that it's not the intercourse necessarily. It's the emotional connection is how I'm interpreting that.
Because of the condom thing?
Well, no, I don't know. I think there has to be some sort of physical, tangible something happening. So I guess I envisioned this as a semen thing. So lesbians would be safe.
Immune. No,
Correct.
I don't think it's not a physical
fluid
thing that is being passed. I think it's more.
It's like an emotional thing.
It's an entity that's passed through sex. The physical act of sex, regardless of if it's with a condom or with the same gender.
It's very confusing.
Is it? I feel like I just said it and it makes perfect sense, but because it's a movie about a sex demon following you. So I don't think it has to work like semen does.
But it's not about a sex demon. It's about a regular demon. It's about a demon.
Okay.
And you get the demon by having sex.
Entity. Yeah, that's how it passes.
So would oral work too? Oral sex? Non-penetrative sex? What kinds of sex?
Sex.
That's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying it's probably the relationship. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot there's a lot of thinking to do. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
I feel like there's not that much thinking to do. You're doing too much of it. And that's why you're in the position that you're in right now.
Yeah.
You're doing too much thinking. You gotta chill out with the thinking. And then it's fine.
That's okay. Yep. This was Micah Monroe's first horror movie.
It was.
Yeah. We've done Long Legs.
We have.
That's her most recent one too, because that was just last year.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she would love to do a sequel.
Which they are doing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I want to say we talked about it at one point, but it was probably before you knew what It Follows was. So,
Yeah.
But yes, They Follow is in the works. I believe they're starting filming this year. So, and she's already signed on.
Good.
And David Robert Mitchell is coming back as the writer and director as well. So, I think they took some time because they didn't want to do it unless they had a good idea for it. Is what I remember them saying at some point. So, sounds like they've got an idea and they want to explore it.
Good. Maybe they'll explore the condom issue.
I doubt it. I don't think they see that as an issue.
See, I just feel like if you have to ask those questions, if he was asked, somebody asked him,
Uh-huh.
is it, if I wear a condom, am I safe? And he had to then say, no.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one doing the thinking, clearly.
No, I think it probably stemmed from the same conversation as the plane thing where people are like, oh, I'd be safe because I'd wear a condom, or I'd be safe because I'm a lesbian, or I'd be safe because I'd fly to Germany. You know what I mean? And he was probably like, oh, that wouldn't work. Like, it would get there eventually. Or condoms don't matter because it's an entity.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't matter. It's the act of sex, not who it's with, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it's the orgasm. Maybe that's what it's from. Maybe that's the...
There's no way it would pass that often.
No,
With
I mean,
men involved? Come on. That would be an entity that only affects women.
But
it would be a lesbian only entity at that point.
No, the men are doing the orgasming. They're
Oh,
orgasming.
that's true.
So they're passing it off.
It'd be a gay sex. Oh, so the person who has it has to orgasm to give it to the other person?
To give it to the other person.
Oh, then women are fucked.
Yeah, how do they get rid of it? What if you just... Man, masturbation. We got to bring that into the conversation. Okay, David Robert Mitchell, if you're listening to this, please respond. Could I masturbate the demon out of me?
I don't think so, because we see in Hugh's house that he has dirty magazines, so I think he has been doing that.
He's been trying.
He's been trying to exercise that dick, but it's not working.
Got that bicep action going.
Yep. One other thing that he's addressed, people have brought up the pool scene and said it seems very like a silly climax for that. But he said that's kind of the point. Like, they're kids. Like, of course they're going to come up with a stupid plan that's not going to work. So he said he kind of wanted it to feel a little bit Scooby-Doo gang. Like,
sure.
Oh, how can we solve this demon issue?
Yeah.
So that was his response to people being like, that's not a very sophisticated plan. He's like, well, they're kids.
They're in high school. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that part didn't bother me, the like idea of them throwing stuff. What bothered me was that the acting was so flat in that scene.
Oh, okay.
It just felt very like monotone and not emotional, not as charged as it needed to be because electricity. But also, like, actually, it just didn't. I was bothered by it. A lot of things bothered me about this movie, if you couldn't tell. But
yeah, I can. Do you have any other fun facts?
No. Should we rate it?
Sure.
Okay. I don't like where this is going. How scary did you think it was?
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
Because I do remember the first time I watched this. And it was a little freaky. The guy coming through the hallway. Mm-hmm. There was a few like little jump scare moments and creepy, suspenseful moments that I remember putting me on edge.
Sure.
What about you?
I also gave it a 1.5.
Nice.
It had a lot of potential to be scary, and it started off really strong, and then it just got like less and less scary. It could have easily been as like freaky and uncanny as Us, is what I was thinking of during the first like 15 minutes of the movie. I was thinking of Us. But it just didn't like quite get there, so I gave it a 1.5 for the effort, and then that one scene of coming through behind Yara was really freaky.
For sure. How sexy did you think it was?
I mean, there's nothing less sexy than an STD, I think.
Sure.
So I gave it a 0.5.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I also gave it a 0.5. I think it's some of the least sexy sex scenes and nudity I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Very
Which,
unsexualized sex.
yeah, and every scene in which there is intercourse, there's no nudity,
Yeah,
which is interesting. Fun. There's a fun fact.
that is a fun fact.
Yeah.
Which I like. Like, it's not the point, you know?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because again, the sex, not sexy.
No, no. None of it was. Nothing about it. It just
No.
wasn't sexy.
Yeah.
How fucked up did you think it was?
I give it a 1,
Okay.
and that entire half a point is just for Greg's death. That was a little much.
Yeah,
That was fucked up.
that was crazy.
Yeah. What did you give it?
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
The first 10 minutes, crazy.
Yeah.
We were cooking.
Yeah.
The way that the entity leaves that body, crazy. And then it just gets less fun and less fucked until the scene with Greg.
Mm.
And it's like, and then it's over again. So 1.5.
All right. Overall, what did you think of It Follows?
Yeah. This had a lot of potential. I think the concept that was laid out in the first 10 or 15 minutes was so fucking good. I would have totally forgiven the fact that it's a direct allegory for, STDs or informed consent. I would have totally, whatever. I would have thought far less about that had we stuck to the same universe throughout the movie that we established in those first few minutes. But we lost that. We gave the entity too much power. Why did it have to throw things? Why did it pull her hair? Why did it start standing still? It just didn't follow any of the rules. And I really wanted that scene of, oh my God, I don't have an exit and I just have to sit here and be killed. And then we get another one of those cuts where it's black screen and then it's the next morning and the person's in a weird position. That would have been so fucking cool. I was waiting for it. So anyway, it just it lost its spark. I ended up only giving it a 2.
Damn.
Yeah. And I think I gave it a 2 because, one, I do think there was a lot of attention to detail to the nightmare aspect of it. That was interesting to me. And then 2, I would see a sequel. I do want to see the sequel because the concept is good. They just didn't stick to the concept that I was so interested in.
All right.
What did you give it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite horror movies. I love this movie so much. I think
That's crazy.
It's so beautifully done. The cinematography is perfectly framed. It's so unnerving the way that he shoots the movie. I think it really adds to the atmosphere. I think at the time that it came out, it was a very original idea. I love the fact that it feels like you're in a nightmare. And to that effect, I don't really care at all about the minor little plot things that don't add up. I think when it fucks with her hair, I'm like, yeah, because it's a cool shot. So it doesn't bother me at all. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. And I love the meaning I've put behind it because I don't necessarily think Mitchell had that same idea when he made it, but
Yeah.
I do think if you look at it through that lens of sexual assault and informed consent, it is a very interesting film. And yeah, I love it. 4 out of 5.
Okay. Crazy to give a 4 out of 5. You said 4 out of 5 and it's also one of your favorite movies?
Yeah. I think anything 4 and above is my favorites.
Okay.
This is a movie I recommend to people all the time.
Okay. You like this over Smile and Smile 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a better film.
Interesting.
Yeah. I said that during our episode. I didn't say it at the beginning when I referenced that, but when I said, oh, this concept's been done before, but better. That's what I said in our episode. Yeah.
Well, damn.
I know. But I knew your goldfish memory wouldn't remember, so.
No, of course not. Well, I feel badly that I don't like it, but I latched so hard onto that first concept.
Yeah.
It made me mad.
The concept that kept going throughout the whole movie.
No.
It did. Anyways, give me 2 years. I'll make you rewatch it and
Yeah,
you'll
we'll
like
rewatch
it.
it again, and then I'll change my tune.
All right, would you survive?
I think I'm doing whatever I can to consensually sort of give this away, and then I'm
Okay.
just kind of washing my hands of it. I'm putting more emphasis on, hey, I'm going to give this to you, and it's really important that you also give it to the next person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting more emphasis on that. And there could probably be some like really mean comments to be made about whether or not I could give it away, but assuming that I can, I'm just getting rid of it somewhere very far away from me. And then
You're a girl.
yeah, I don't think it would be that hard.
They say it in the movie.
Yeah.
Says it won't be hard for you. You're a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, and then there's just so many like plot holes, not plot holes necessarily, but like inconsistencies in how it acts. I don't know if I could formulate a solid answer for like what if you can't give it away. So I'm just
Well, I
sticking with
think
I
you're
can.
fair to say that you can give it away. The problem
Okay.
then becomes if it kills the person you give it to, it comes back for you.
Right.
It comes back down the line. So you have to make sure it continues for enough to make you safe.
Yeah, which is again why the emphasis is you have to give this to somebody else.
Yeah. But do they believe you? Does the person they give it to believe them? Do they give it away?
True.
It's a hard road to follow.
Yeah. Okay, how about you?
Probably, but do I want to? I feel like the anxiety that I would feel for the rest of my life, you'd be so paranoid.
And
So I think I live,
yeah.
probably through the events of this movie, I live, and then like a year later I end it. Because I don't think I could go much more than that with the constant fear and paranoia hanging over me.
Yeah, fair. I was kind of hoping, I was not disappointed, but I was kind of hoping that they did more of a smile thing where they, in the sequel, it's just different people dealing with the same curse. As opposed to Micah Monroe comes back and she's somehow still, you know what I mean?
Oh, like you wanted to follow multiple people throughout the film?
Sure. Well, no, I mean in the sequel that they're making,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think that Micah Monroe would come back. I would think that they would move on to like another era, another generation. You know what I mean?
Got it. I want to say, I don't know if this is a fan theory or if something has been said about it. I want to say it's a fan theory, but I think
Okay.
the consensus is they think that it's going to be her trying to track down the origins of it. Like figure out how it started,
Sure.
which would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that's a fan theory. I don't think that that's been confirmed that that's what's going to happen.
Right.
But it would make sense if she's passed it on and he's passed it on. Although I think the ending shot kind of makes you wonder if it worked because there's like someone following behind them. But is that just a person or is that the entity? We don't know.
Yeah. Well, it would still be following them unless he had given it away, right?
He did give it away.
Oh.
Paul goes he's like perusing a prostitute district when he's in the car after they have sex.
Oh, that wasn't clear that he actually stopped and gave it to a prostitute. I thought he was just passing by them.
No, that was supposed to imply that he was going to give it to a prostitute.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yikes.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that he would be like, okay, well, I can't just, there's the informed consent debacle again.
Yeah, true. I guess it's implied but not confirmed. Maybe
Right.
he didn't. Maybe he couldn't go through with it. But I think he did.
And that day that they're walking down the street holding hands is the day the prostitute died.
Maybe. If she didn't. I think the idea was that if you give it to a prostitute, she's more than likely going to pass it on before it gets to her.
That's true, yeah.
But
You would hope.
yeah, you would hope. But who's to say? Not me. Only David Robert Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like he's willing to answer, too, if you ever have the chance to ask.
That's true. Hit him up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, do you want to predict next week's movie?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment because I came up with the best idea for a movie called Totally Killer.
Great. Tell me what Totally Killer is about.
Okay, I know now that this is not right
Oh.
because Totally Killer is definitely a shark movie.
Mm,
And we're doing a shark movie later. Like literally in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not a shark movie, but
Yeah.
give me your shark movie idea.
Okay, so
please.
Totally Killer is a 90s horror movie featuring sharks. It's about an up-and-coming female surfer. She's like taken over the women's surf circuit. And while in the middle of a competition, she rams into a boat. Like, where the fuck did that boat come from?
Yeah.
The boat sinks because her surfboard makes a hole in it. It's like a smaller boat. The boat sinks, and her surfboard gets stuck in the boat, so it drags her down with it because, surfers are attached to their surfboards.
Yeah.
And the impact in which she hits the boat knocks her out. So she gets taken all the way down to the ocean floor with the boat before she finally wakes up. And then she's like, fuck, I can't get to the surface. Maybe I can go inside the boat. So she quickly takes off her little ankle thing. She goes into the boat where her surfboard has made a hole. And while she does that, she bleeds. And the blood sharks. So she's like in this air bubble, and it's a small air bubble because it's a small boat in the cabin of the boat. So she has to get out of there as soon as she can, but there's shark infestation. So she has to figure out a way to kill the shark and make it to the surface, or beat the shark to the surface.
Yeah.
Before she runs out of oxygen in the boat. And then when she gets to the surface, she tells her friends what happened, and they say, that's Totally Killer.
Wow.
Because it's in the 90s.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
What a fun film.
Thank you. It's like one of those single location because it's in the boat.
Right, yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I'm sad that it's not that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be 90s, though. Set in the
Sure
90s,
doesn't.
perhaps. No?
Nope.
Is it a comedy?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It is a comedy. Yeah.
Cool. Well.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea for a movie.
I think, yeah, it's great. I'd watch it for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I don't really like movies where the shark's the bad guy.
The shark's not the bad guy. The bad guy is
any
she's going to
movie
run
that,
out of
like,
oxygen.
Drums up fear around sharks
That's
makes me
fair.
a little hesitant because
Sure.
they've been through enough. They don't need any more. But we'll get to that when we talk about Jaws.
Yeah. That'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, I'll go on a rant, I promise.
That's like the one time I've ever gotten into a fight with somebody on TikTok is she posted a picture of her petting a shark in like an aquarium where they let you, like a touch tank or whatever, with the Jaws soundtrack, and she's like all freaked out. I let her fucking have it.
In a controlled environment?
With a baby, like, zebra shark?
Oh. Yeah, the shark fear has to stop.
Yeah.
Enough.
It's killing sharks.
It really is, yeah.
There
But
aren't gonna
again,
be any
we'll
left.
talk about that soon.
Yeah. After Totally Killer.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Totally Killer, and then
we're going to
talk
talk about Jaws.
Yeah. So stick with us for at least 2 more episodes.
2 more episodes. Or skip next week. Who am I to judge?
Well, ideally, you would watch both.
Yeah, please listen to both.
Try.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
But, All right, cool. Well, that's It Follows.
Mm-hmm. That's our biggest disparity.
Happy birthday, Cassidy. Sorry your birthday party sucks. Like,
Sorry.
Sorry you hated it, but
Yeah.
anyways.
I'm sorry I hated it. I didn't hate it.
Sorry you hated it.
I didn't get a 1.
Okay, well.
And I said I would watch a sequel.
Anyways, everybody in the comments, after you say happy birthday, tell me why I'm right and Katie's wrong. And tell me your favorite thing about the movie It Follows. And let me know your favorite shark fact.
Yeah, and we'll read your favorite shark facts out loud in our episode on Jaws,
Don't
celebrating
say that,
the
Katie.
50th anniversary.
Don't say that. Nobody ever comments what we tell them to comment. We're not going to have any comments to read, Katie.
Well, if there are any, we're going to read them, okay?
That's true. If you want your comment to be read, be the first ever person to comment.
It's not the first ever.
That's true. All right. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week for Totally Killer.
Bye.
Bye!